Mr. Whitney, anything you need or want me to do for you this evening?
No.
Want me to make some calls for tomorrow's appointments?
Look, Gunther, well, go to a movie or go to bed. Do whatever you want, all right?
Mr. Whitney, you haven't said anything about tomorrow's schedule. What time will you need the car?
I don't know if there are going to be any business meetings tomorrow, Gunther. Depends on what I find out in the morning.
I see.
Gunther, if you really feel you must do something for me, go down to the lobby and get me a newspaper.
Yes, sir, Mr. Whitney.
Raven, it is beautiful. Where on earth did you... This is...
Look at the initials on the inside.
SGW. Well, that's mine.
Yes.
Well, you sweet thing. Wherever did you get this?
It's an antique piece that's been in your family for 3 generations, and Geraldine gave it to me to give to you. It belonged to your grandfather.
Well, you sweet, sweet darling thing. Thank you very much. Time has run out, darling.
Good evening, Mrs. Whitney. I thought you might need some police protection.
What makes you think that I need police protection?
Well, I happen to know that you were the victim of a purse snatching this afternoon.
Oh, you do? How'd you find that out? I didn't call the police. Perhaps I should have.
Yes, it's best to report these things. Sometimes we can put pieces together that fit the pattern of a particular suspect.
So how'd you find out? Do you have ESP?
I wish I did. No, actually, a taxi cab driver saw the whole thing, and he gave us a description that fit a guy named Sammy Wheaton that we brought in on a different charge.
So you think he's the one that stole my pocketbook?
Yes, I do. I called Miss Darwin at the dress shop, and she said you were the victim. So I thought I would come in here and get the details from you this evening, if it's all right.
Sure.
Is, Mr. Whitney at home?
No. Mr. Whitney is in Chicago on business. I I'm really sorry I made your work harder by not reporting it. But I didn't report it because this guy was standing there with me, and he saw the whole thing happen, and he ran off and got my purse for me.
Oh, genuine hero.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get many of those kind these days. He didn't happen to give you his name, did he?
Yes, he did. He told me his name was Romeo.
Romeo? Sounds like an alias to me. Are you sure nothing was missing from your purse?
Yeah. I had a lot of money, too. It was all there. I guess the guy didn't have time to take it, thanks to Romeo.
What about your house keys? You know, sometimes these guys will take a purse for the keys for a robbery.
No, the keys were returned, so I guess there's nothing to worry about. Although I was scared for a little while, but everything's okay.
It can be a frightening experience. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
Well, sorry you came here for nothing.
Well, maybe you can come down and identify the suspect at headquarters.
Sure. Tomorrow?
Thank you.
Thank you for all the trouble.
There's no trouble at all, I assure you. It's very nice to see you again, even under these circumstances.
Nice to see you. I think the last time I saw you was my wedding. My wedding. In fact, we even had a little dance, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. I remember it very well.
Yeah. I also remember that you were alone.
Yes, I was.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
Well, you see, a lot of women tend to shy away from my particular occupation. And some women are unobtainable. That's new, isn't it? That portrait, that wasn't here the day of the wedding.
No. My husband had that commissioned for me as a surprise. Do you like it?
No, I don't.
You're bold, aren't you? Why not? It's a beautiful picture. It looks just like me.
Well, there's a likeness, but something's missing. I think it's your spirit.
Oh. Oh. Don't tell my husband that.
Look, I know I don't have any right to say anything. I don't have any right to ask you any questions at all, but I'm compelled to ask you anyway.
What? And don't look so somber. It can't be that serious.
Oh, I know you haven't been married very long. How long's it been? 3 weeks?
Yeah. Why?
Well, I wonder. How do you feel about him now? I mean, how much do you think you really know about Schuyler Whitney?
Why do you ask that? Do you know something about him that I don't?
Quite possibly I do.
Oh, what a lovely warm evening.
Oh, what a lovely warm girl.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
Well, you hear about love, and you read about it, and you see it in the movies. And then when it happens to you, it's so different. It's not what you expected at all.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I don't have the words.
Well, I think I do. I love you. I know it's not original, but it's right from the heart. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
About love?
No, we have to talk about that all the time. I meant Kelly, about your luncheon with him.
No, I don't mind talking about that at all.
Good, because I'm curious.
He was wonderful.
Well, I told you it would be.
Yeah, I really didn't have to tell him that much. He said he knew there was something going on between you and me before we did. Or at least before we admitted it. Anyway, I was glad I told him because it was my responsibility. And Kelly was very warm and giving, and he made it a lot easier for me.
Well, that's as it should be. Things should be easy for you. You've had to face too many tough things in your young life. It's time that you turn the corner and have some good things happen to you.
Well, what more do I need? I have you now, don't I?
Well, you bet you do, lady. You know what I feel right now?
What?
I want to turn the whole world upside down for your sake. I want to be the best. I want to be the most famous choreographer in the whole business. I want to be someone you can be proud of.
Well, that's nice. But I'm proud of you right now.
Clarence, I'm very sorry to be calling you at this time of night, but I'm here working on the budget. After all, you are the accountant, and I must say that some of these figures you sent me from last year are very confusing. One more hour of this, and I'll have to call an ambulance to get home. Yes, Clarence. Yes, the Queen is in her counting house. Oh, my, you are a caution. Now, if you can just straighten me out on some of these advertising figures, the whole thing will fall into place. Clarence, I did use the calculator. It's made 3 mistakes. Clarence, I have a wonderful idea. Why don't I just take all of these papers and put them in a shredder? Well, why not? They do it in Washington. Oh, all right. I'll have to call you later. Goodbye. Now, where am I going to get a shredder at this time of night? Yes?
Good evening, Geraldine.
Kelly, what on earth are you doing here? I thought you'd left long ago.
Well, to tell you the truth, I felt kind of guilty about taking most of the afternoon off. And you told me you were going to work late tonight. I figured I'd stop by and see if I could make myself useful.
My dear boy, unless you have a degree in accounting, you can be no help to me at all, but thank you for the thought.
I'm pretty good at figures.
What are 2 and 2?
4.
You're hired. My poor secretary was here until 8 o'clock this evening. When she started turning blue, I decided to let her go home.
Blue? Let me help out.
Kelly, I have been married to this calculator all evening long, and frankly, I want a divorce.
Oh, I know how to use that one.
Well, there, see what you can do with it. But be careful of that one. It makes mistakes. Here, you can start with these.
Fine.
But before you do, answer a question.
Sure.
Well, I couldn't help noticing that you're much more cheerful this evening than you were all during the day. Have you had some good news of some kind?
No, actually, today was a day full of bad news.
Then what do you attribute your good cheer to?
Well, there's no use in crying over spilled milk, is there?
Oh, you're quite right, too. And let it be the last time I hear you use that horrendous cliché.
I promise. Let me see the rest of these figures. That's a picture of Valerie Bryson.
Yes, Nicole is going to do a special feature on Dr. Bryson this evening. She thought she might use a photograph of Valerie on camera, but I think she's decided against it.
Well, I'm glad she decided against it. I mean, Val's still suffering from her father's death. She certainly doesn't need that kind of publicity.
I agree. Valerie doesn't need any kind of publicity right now. You're very protective of her, aren't you?
Yes, I guess I am.
Mm-hmm. Is there more here than meets the eye?
You're very wise, Mrs. Saxon.
I know. Except about budgets. Now, what you have there will wrap the whole thing up. Once you have finished that monumental labor, then I'm home free. That being the case, I think I'll feel free to go home right now.
Well, listen, don't you worry about this. I'll have it for you in no time, and I'll leave it on your desk.
Kelly, in the language of the streets, you really have your act together.
Thank you, Jill.
The Corbetts are about...
Just don't think it's fair for you to tell me that you know something about my husband and then not tell me what it is.
I just have a feeling that some of your husband's companions when he was living overseas were of questionable character at best.
Questionable character. Do you mean that they had something to do with that cover-up with Martine Duval's husband?
All right. It's unfair of me to make vague accusations about something that I can't prove. As yet.
As yet? Why do you seem so eager to pin something on my husband?
I'll tell you the truth. If I can prove that your husband was involved in something illicit, perhaps you'll become just a little bit less inaccessible. Well, I'd better go. I'm glad that you came to no harm this afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by.
You still have my card?
Hi, somewhere.
Be sure you know where it is. And if you need me for anything, please, call me.
I wonder if he thinks that Sky is really Jeff Brown.
Hello?
Raven,
Oh, hi, baby.
I decided to take a chance and see if you were still up.
Yeah, how are you?
Safe and sound in Chicago. And you?
Oh, I'm fine, but I'm so lonely. This house is so big and empty.
Yeah, well, it won't be for long.
Do you miss me?
Yeah. Yeah. More than I thought I would. I didn't realize how difficult the separation is.
Why is everything spoiled when it started out so perfect?
Raven, what do you mean? There's nothing that's spoiled. It's just a temporary separation, just for a night or two. I'll make it up to you. I promise I will.
I want to be with you. I should have come. I should have insisted.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm going to find here tomorrow, and well, I'll feel freer doing my business, knowing that you're not here hanging around waiting for me.
I don't care. I should have come there. I want to be with you now. I want to be in your bed.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I want you to tell me that everything's okay. And that nothing has changed. And that you're still the man that I married.
Oh, Raven, I am. I'm still the same man you married. Believe that. I'm still the same man who loves you. I want you to know that whatever happens, I love you. I love you more than I thought it was possible to love anyone.
Sky.
Raven, look, I've got an important phone call to make. I'll talk to you later.
No,
Bye.
Oh, my God. Attention.
No, I can't do that. I can't warn her. Then she'd know that I planned it all out. Operator, room 611. Gunther, get the car. I said, get the car!